All right, how to make beats like Drake. Let's get straight into it. This is the beat preview right here. All right, and right off the back, I just want to talk about how I made this sample. The sample was kind of going like this. And like in this channel, we go over chords. So I was using the piano grandeur and I was playing the key of A. I played this chord progression right here. I started off on D and it went like this. Then E, then C sharp, 7, then. All right, so like I said, I'm not gonna draw it in and show you guys what I was playing. I just play the chord progressions and I show you guys exactly what it is that I'm playing. So that came up with this, a little bit more, with a little bit melody going here and there. I added a little bit of compression with this one right here, the Platinum Digital. It's a stock plugin already inside Logic, and I added a Pro Q3, just reduced all the low. Well, not all of it, but some of it and most of the high frequencies. Then I went and added a second piano right here. And all I did for the second piano was add this little melody. Put together. It just complements each other. I didn't do anything else to the second piano, just left it alone. Here comes the vocal chop that I added right here. This is the first one. And honestly, if you have arcade or if you have like anything that you can get samples from, try to look for some R&B soulful samples. It's gonna just complement whatever you're playing already a lot better. So I use arcade. I was using Big Bright Hall from UAD, and I was just able to use a little bit of the thickness here, and I increased some of the size so I could give it a little bit more of that reverb feeling. And for the EQ, I just reduced everything, did a bandpass narrow, and just left the midsection. And together with the piano, it sounded like this. I don't want the vocal to really lead the whole beat, but it's in there for sure. Then I added a second vocal from arcade as well, and it sounded like this. Again, from UAD, I use a Big Bright Hall, and I also did the same thing for this one, except I left it more in the mid-range, mid-high frequencies instead, so I could just, because the other one's already in the mid-range. Then I use a third vocal chop, and this one sounded like this. This was the main one. It just sounds like a Drake beat already with the sample. It's crazy, right? And the same thing, Big Bright Hall and then a Pro Q3. Now I could have used a bust and just added all of them to one, but I like to add the plugins individually. That's just how I am. Then I added a 4 vocal sample. It's never enough sometimes. You just got to keep adding them. So this one sounded like this. So what I did with this one is I ripped some of the vocal 3, and I just ripped the end and put it right here where I wanted it. And together it was just. All right, so yeah, let's get into the drums really quick. So for these type of beats, I like to use different percussions, not your same trap. Some of the trap sounds are okay, but I use this percussion specifically way different than anything I would ever use. This is called a God Perk, and I got it from Vibe Kits. If you guys want to go cop that. I mean, he's not paying me to say that, but I'm just trying to give you guys some sauce. And I just reduced some of the high frequencies right here and left this at mid-range. And then this complements with this snare hit right here alone. But I felt like it sounded kind of empty, so that's when I added this one. But together it's just gives you that nice full sound. Then I added a kick. For these type of beats, you don't want the kick to be super robotic, just boom, 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 boom. No, you gotta kind of make it bounce a little bit, boom, boom, right here, boom, 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 boom. You know, you gotta, instead of going boom, 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 boom. No, you gotta boom, 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 boom. Like, it has to bounce in between the snares. Easiest way I can explain this is, instead of using like 1/8 notes, use 1/16 notes right here. Go to your brush tool if you don't know what you're doing, and then just add them right here. You know, actually, I was using a 1/8 note here. I use a mixture of 1/16 notes and 1/8 notes, I guess. Honestly, for these type of beats, I would say the best thing to do is to actually just play it live with like your MIDI keyboard. Right. You just get a better feel for it, and then you could just quantize or just leave it like that. Okay, for the hi-hats, very simple, nothing crazy. All I did was this. But if you were wondering, like, okay, why do they sound like they're going back and forth? That's because the velocity down here is changing the whole time. Because if it was just all like right here, it wouldn't sound good. It'll just sound like very stagnant. It'll sound very like repetitive, like this. Let me show you guys real quick. See, it just sounds different. So you don't want to do that. Just leave it, you know, if you want to, you got to change the velocity most of the time in order for these hi-hats to sound like they're swinging. If you want to mess with this swing, you could. All right, nothing special, but the hi-hat does sound nice. I would really recommend for any Drake beat to always use an open hat. I don't know, it's just, I feel like it's a must. And honestly, for this one, I didn't quantize it, and I just left it. I played it live. Hey. You could do so much with the open hat. It just brings more of a bounce to your beat, definitely. The last thing I added was this spins 808, every other kick. For the 808, I did use a saucy distortion right here, and I left it in drums. Sometimes I leave it in none or bass 808, but for this one, drums was I was really feeling the vibe with the drums settings, and then I raised some of the mid range, so you can really hear it in like on the phone, and you can hear it like in other devices that don't have a lot of low end. I like to leave the mid range kind of high and reduce some of this low end right here, a little bit of mid low range just for the kick to hit, and then I added, of course, a sub before anything. Because with these, it sounds really nice. Didn't do much to the sub, didn't really add effects. And then the most important part of any Drake beat is you want to add a tom. And what is a tom? It's this right here. And you know, I did add a little bit of reverb, space D, and I put a little bit of wetness and the dries all the way up because I don't want it to be too reverby. I reduce some of the high frequencies right here and did some low cut because I don't want it to interfere with the drums. But I mean, for like these parts right here sounds so good. You can't even hear the reverb that much. That's what's so important about how to use your reverb properly. If you put too much, you don't want that. You want it to kind of blend in, and reverb kind of helps with that blending in with the rest of the beat. All right, guys, drop down in the comments what type of tutorial you want to see next. Till next time, stay blessed and stay positive. Peace.